True Crime Society podcast contains adult themes and violence and is not intended for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. And if you'd like to skip the intro or move to any specific part of the podcast, please refer to the timestamps listed in the episode description. Thank you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the True Crime Society podcast with Stephanie and Olivia. It is February 13th here, but it is Valentine's Day in Australia. Do you have any big plans with your husband or anything?
No, I shouldn't laugh. I don't think we've ever done anything for Valentine's Day. I know we've spoken
I'm not
in the
really
past
like that either.
About like differences between holidays. Here, Valentine's Day is really not too much of a thing. Like you can buy Valentine's Day cards. Some like the supermarket might do like a few little chocolates or something, but like it's not a thing at schools. Like I know their kids make Valentines and do Valentine's Day crafts. That is not really a thing so much here. It's a very minor event. It's actually funny because one of my friends sent out a group chat message and she's like, does anyone want to go to the pub for a drink on Friday afternoon? Everyone's like, yep. And I wrote, yeah, Galentine's drinks. Because basically no one is doing anything actually for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
With their partner. No. So no, I'm not. It was funny. I was in Kmart last night. So I know Kmart there is basically not a thing, but Kmart here is like your Target where you go and it's got everything. And I was in the beauty section. And there was a man in there and I could clearly tell he was buying stuff for Valentine's Day. He's like buying like bath bombs and I'm like, you are making like a Valentine's Day present. I know that's what you're doing.
Well, I wouldn't. It's definitely a bigger holiday here, but I think it's still such a commercial holiday. It's fun when you're younger and like dating, but me and Mike, we've been together for going on like 10 years now. So we just get each other little candies and call it a day. It's not like, I'm not one of those people where I'm like, I need like a big extravagant thing. I'm just like, whatever. I'd rather save our money. And I love cheap, shitty candies. So whatever. But yesterday I decided to go to Walmart, which is like, I work near a Walmart supercenter, like a huge one that has everything. And I was like, I'll go to Walmart and see what candies they have there just because like these are details that aren't important, but I was off of work today because I had a doctor's appointment, so I wasn't going to be near Walmart. So I was like, I got to go today. Well, so did fucking everyone else, apparently, because it was packed with people scrambling, trying to get last minute. And they had a ton of stuff, but just like you could tell the chaos of like the last minute shopping, men getting things for their girlfriends, wives, whatever. But then it's also like a lot of parents here love making little Valentine's Day baskets for their kids. So they'll getting all like just random crap for their kids for a little Valentine's Day basket. I was like, this was a mistake. And I hope that Mike knows like the effort and annoyance I had to go through just like walking around the Valentine's Day section to get these little candies.
It's funny because we went to the shops, the mall last night. I took one of my daughters. Her and her little friend group had decided they would each give each other something for Valentine's, like a little chocolate, like something just basically something Valentine's Day themed. So we went yesterday, which was the day before Valentine's Day, could not find anything, like nothing
Really?
Valentine's. So I'm like, either they've already packed it up. When we were there last night, they were putting out all the Easter stuff, like Easter eggs. I'm like, just wait, we just need a Valentine's Day chocolate. That's all we need. And we couldn't find anything. So
it's like I go to Walmart pretty frequently. Like I said, I just work near it so I can run there quickly and get some things. And I went sometime mid-January and they had all the Valentine's Day stuff out. And I think a lot of it's cute. So I was just looking and I wanted to get something for, my new baby nephew because how cute. So I got him this cute little stuffed capybara that came in like a little gift bag. And it said some little like pun about capybara or I don't remember what it says, but it was cute. And I was like, I better get it now because by the time Valentine's Day actually comes, there's only going to be scraps left, and they're already going to be putting up stuff for the next holiday because that's what happens with every holiday.
Yeah.
So I've been holding on to this little capybara for a month now, and I'm finally going to go give it to him tomorrow.
How cute.
Yeah, so that's fun. Did you want to talk about those messages that we got?
Yeah. So we're recording now, not even 24 hours after our Amy Harwick episode has come out. We've actually had some messages from people who knew both Amy and Gareth. I posted one of the messages from someone who knew Amy on our story today. They commented on Spotify, which we really enjoy reading your messages there, but it says, I knew her. She was truly the sweetest person in the world. She didn't deserve this. Thank you for sharing her story. Love you forever, Amy. From every, like, I have never heard any different than that. Every single person has said she was kind, she was caring, she was compassionate. She seems like such a loving person. And then we got
Mhm.
another message about Gareth. So the polar opposite, creepy, stalker, loser. I won't give too many personal details away because this person basically doesn't want that. But they said they knew Gareth in college. He was older. He lived with a bunch of guys and he was older than them by 10 or 11 years. They were all excited to have him there because he seemed kind of cool, you know, having, I guess at the time he would have been like 28 or 29. Having an older guy, he was, you know,
He
relatively
had connections to
connected.
parties because he
Yeah.
was the photographer.
They said, but he was a real weirdo, and he even pushed a woman one time in the house. He pushed her into the fridge hard, and she was scared to go over after that, which I don't blame her. All the guys were shocked that they lived with him for years when they heard this. It says there's a lot of other stories about him, and it was obviously not a good time with him. So it seems like he was just continually a jerk, especially maybe to women. Like pushing a woman into the refrigerator is,
Which
you
really
know,
isn't shocking considering what he
on
ended up
brand.
doing for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you guys ever wanna message us, like, it's cool. Obviously, the messages, like, contents aren't usually cool, but it's cool when people listen to the episode and then either, like, know some people involved or know of people who know people involved and message us, some things, so we always welcome that because sometimes it adds more insight to some of the things we talked about or if people know some more information, so we always love when you guys follow up with us.
Definitely.
Before we get into the episode, we just wanted to share one of our fave podcasts with you guys. I was so excited to get this cross promo. I think that a lot of people like my age will understand because I've been such a fan of Snooki from Jersey Shore forever. So if you are looking for a podcast that's unfiltered, hilarious, and totally unpredictable, you've got to listen to It's Happening with Snooki and Joey. It'll be your go-to for all things pop culture, celeb gossip, and wild stories. It's hosted by Nicole Snooki Polizzi, the reality TV show icon, businesswoman, and meatball extraordinaire, you know and love from Jersey Shore, of course, and her partner in crime, Joey Camasta, celebrity makeup artist, comedian, and the ultimate sidekick you didn't know you needed. Together, this duo serves up their signature blend of comedy and chaos.
Each week, they spill the tea on Hollywood drama, reality TV madness, and their own ridiculous adventures. From laugh out loud moments to totally unhinged conversations, no topic is off limits. So much fun. So grab a drink, sit back, and get ready because it's happening, bitch. New episodes drop every Friday. Listen now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite shows. And just as a side note, I would love to be known as a meatball extraordinaire.
Okay, well, I guess we can just get into these cases we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about two cases where men have been allegedly poisoned or drugged to death by a woman. So, you know, we always say it's always the men, it's always the husband, but
I was just going
sometimes
to
it's the
say
women.
this is an episode for the people who accuse us of hating men and, you know, only ever blaming men for things, you know, which is ridiculous. But some people do say that to us sometimes. You know, you guys always talk about the dumb men. Why don't you focus on the women? And so this
We
is
got
an
to be fair.
episode. Yeah, this is an episode where two men were targeted by women.
So one we're going to talk about is about Adan Manzano, which we've been posting about. It just happened recently, and I feel like it was mildly big news because it was connected to the Super Bowl, but he was meant to be covering the Super Bowl. He was a reporter, but he was found dead in his hotel room.
This morning, as police work to determine whether a Super Bowl reporter was drugged before he died, there's a new twist in the investigation. Police in Kenner, Louisiana tell ABC News they've been inundated with calls about other cases allegedly involving a woman who's being called the Bourbon Street Hustler. Danette Colbert is seen in these images obtained by DailyMail.com showing Telemundo, Kansas City reporter Adan Manzano entering his hotel at 3:46 a.m. last Wednesday. Colbert is believed to be the last person to see him alive. For now, she's charged with using Manzano's credit card after his death, but police say that could change depending on the evidence.
If those autopsy results come back and indicate any kind of narcotics that were involved, we're going to go where the evidence leads us, and these charges could include homicide charges.
On Wednesday, February 5th, 2025, Kansas City sports anchor Adan Manzano, who was 27 years old, was found dead in his New Orleans hotel room. He'd been in the city to cover the Super Bowl, which was scheduled for Sunday, February 9th, and the Chiefs lost. LOL. Just as I wanted. Sorry, Chiefs fans, but it was time. So Adan worked for KGKC Telemundo Kansas City and Tico Sports. He was originally from Mexico City, but he'd been living in Topeka, Kansas since 2018. He earned his degree from Kansas State University and joined Telemundo Kansas City in 2021. Prior to that, he was a freelance writer for La Semana del Sur and a sports commentator for Reyes Media Group. So he seems like he's been always wanting to be a broadcaster and was working his way up. The Telemundo Kansas City general manager Steve Downing spoke about Adan's initial screen test. He said, "It was a one-shot take. He was good, perfect in my opinion. He didn't stumble." Adan's Spanish language coverage was said to have helped connect new viewers to sports. Adan once said, "People actually reach out to our company and appreciate that we actually speak in their language." So that's cool.
Working in the Super Bowl is a rare opportunity, and being on the field for the second year in a row is even less common.
I used to dream about it, but I never expected that it was going to come that soon.
He means this soon in his career. Adan Manzano's originally from Mexico City, but when he moved to the States, he fell in love with American football. Now the K-State grad covers the Kansas City Chiefs for a living, and he's already in Las Vegas prepping for the big game.
Work. And so I haven't been thinking about it too much, but probably when the moment comes, when Sunday and sun comes up, that's when I'm going to start realizing about that.
While Manzano is there doing his thing on the field, his wife Ashley and 1-year-old daughter Ellie will be back here, watching him from their Topeka apartment.
Like, Daddy! Our favorite thing to do is when we're on the couch and we know that he's at the game, and we get to sit here and be like, okay, who's the first one that gets to see him on the screen?
They never miss pausing the TV to take pictures, which makes sense because you're looking at two of Manzano's biggest fans right here.
He has worked so hard at this. There's been times that he has had 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet, and now knowing that he gets to go out there and do what he loves and what he's good at
means the world to her. But Manzano's family aren't the only ones enjoying his reports. He says they really help connect Spanish speakers to the game, too.
People actually reach out to our company and appreciate that we actually speak in their language, especially being here because not all the channels have all the games that people is looking for.
So he helps them relate by speaking in their own style and culture, all the while getting to do what he loves.
So obviously, Adan was very excited to be covering the Super Bowl. He first covered the Super Bowl in 2023, and he said, "I used to dream about this, but I never expected that it was going to come that soon."
That is very young. Like 25, he was probably in 2023. So that's very young to be covering such a massive event. That seems
And covering the
just like
Super Bowl has got to be huge.
Yeah, you'd think that would be like the pinnacle of a sports reporter's career. So for him to
Most
reach
people
that
can't even afford to go to the Super Bowl.
to reach that at 25 in a country where he wasn't born, like it's an amazing, amazing achievement.
Yeah. One of his colleagues said, "I think his dream was to report from the sidelines a 3rd time and to also see a 3-peat win for the Kansas City Chiefs. He wanted to celebrate with them." The colleague also said, "Adan was a wonderful person from the day I met him. He had a lot of passion and talent. We'll miss him, not just for his professional journalism, but also for his ability to illuminate every room he walked into." Adan was married to a woman named Ashley Boyd, and they had a daughter together named Eleanor in 2022. Ashley, his wife, worked as an elementary school teacher, but in April 2024, Ashley and her daughter were involved in a car accident. The baby was seriously injured, and Ashley was actually killed in the accident. The accident happened after Ashley's vehicle collided head-on with a Ford F-150 due to mechanical issues. So that's horrible.
Yeah.
Ashley was described as a bright light whose enthusiasm to start her teaching career at Lowman Hill was felt by staff across the district. And that was coming from the superintendent. Adan's boss told the media he wanted to be the best parent that he could be, especially under the circumstances of having to raise that daughter without her mom. After Adan's death, their child obviously has been left without any parents, which is horribly sad.
Yeah.
Adan was staying at the Kenner's Comfort Suites Airport in New Orleans. He was found dead on Wednesday, February 5th, and initial reports said that he was found alone in his hotel room. There isn't too much information about how he was found yet. We don't know if it was like by housekeeping or maybe after a welfare check if he didn't show up to work or something. Police didn't release any additional information at the time, and his employer, KGKC, said they were cooperating with authorities in the investigation. The coroner's office told the media that Adan's body showed no signs of trauma.
Most of the comments I saw online at that time were this was probably an overdose, like maybe fentanyl overdose. It kind of insinuated that he'd probably been out partying, had gone back and had overdosed in his hotel room. Obviously, there were other things. This could be medical, could be a suicide. But because all the reports said initially that he was found alone, there was not really any insinuation of a third party at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, it was New Orleans during the Super Bowl. A lot of people are out partying.
Yeah.
So very quickly on Thursday, February 6th, police announced that a woman named Danette Colbert, who was 48 years old, had been arrested in connection to Adan's death. I didn't realize she was so much older, too. CCTV from the hotel showed Danette entering Adan's hotel room with him at 4:35 a.m. on Wednesday. No information about the time that she left has been released, though. When Adan's body was found, police found that his credit card that he used to check into the hotel with was missing. His room key and cell phone were also missing. After checking bank records, authorities discovered that the card had been used at several stores in the New Orleans area. So, not the brightest person.
It's crazy to me because she's being described as a career criminal, but taking his cell phone, his room key, and his credit card, they all just seem like, fair enough, take the credit card, and that could just be maybe he lost it. But how would he have gotten into his room without the room key? That clearly indicates that someone else was there and has taken the key. I just feel like there's such dumb, stupid rookie errors for someone who is apparently a career criminal.
I wonder if she's just like going with the hope that they're like too embarrassed to report it.
Yeah,
but
maybe when she left, he wasn't dead. I don't know.
Yeah, I bet she didn't mean to kill him. It seems like she probably wanted to drug him, steal his shit, and leave, and then hope that he was just too embarrassed to do anything about it. Danette was swiftly ID'd as the person who had used the card, and we believe she was found so quickly because she was also tracked with Adan's cell phone. Police found that it was pinging about 1/10 of a mile from her address in Slidell, Louisiana. Police searched her house and found Adan's cell phone and credit card. Police also found Xanax and a stolen gun, but it's not believed that the firearm is related to Adan's case. Danette was arrested and charged with property crimes, including fraud and theft-related offenses, but the police say the investigation remains ongoing. Kenner Police Chief spoke about the investigation into Adan's death and said she was stopped quite frequently in the French Quarter, and she's known for these kind of fraud schemes. You asked if this was a homicide. I don't know where it's going to end up. We're going to let the evidence lead us to the end result and not speculate. As soon as the coroner finishes with his findings, they will classify it as either a homicide or whatever death the evidence leads him to, and then these charges could be upgraded. Danette has an arrest record that includes allegations of drugging men, theft of currency, fraudulent use of credit card and debit cards, and other financial crimes. The police also asked that anyone who may recognize Danette Colbert and has any information regarding her involvement in these crimes to call investigators. So Danette was given 5 years of probation after she pleaded guilty in 2019 to fraudulently using a credit card that a man lost in New Orleans at a strip club. In 2022, in Nevada, police said that Danette was charged with introducing a foreign substance, into a victim. They also said there was another incident in Jefferson Parish about 2 years ago. Police have said they believe Danette acted alone and also described her as a career criminal. The police chief said everybody should be aware of their surroundings. This brings to light that there are people out there that prey on other people and bring them into their confidence and victimize them. A man named David Butler has also come forward and has alleged that he is one of Danette's previous victims. He said that she and another woman approached him at a bar and offered him a cocktail. After enjoying the drink, he quickly started to feel disoriented and needed help getting back home. So this could maybe give some more insight as to what actually happened to Adan, because there's not a ton of information about how they met or got together. Yeah. He said, she ushered me into some kind of black Suburban that was literally right there. And that's the last thing I remember that night. A property manager found David passed out on the floor and shook him awake, with the victim finding his phone and wallet gone and his credit cards used to make $1,000 charges at Best Buy and Walmart. More than $80,000 that Butler stashed away in a cryptocurrency account for retirement was also gone. Danette also tried to transfer another $50,000 to herself, but the bank blocked the transfer. That's so crazy. So much money.
Crazy. And because you see some articles that say she stole like $136,000, which is the 80 plus the 50-ish. But yeah, some articles say that she tried to transfer the 50 and it was blocked. But that is just so much money to like imagine her going into his phone, going into his crypto account, taking the 80K. It's wild.
And she doesn't even get in that much trouble, which we'll get to. Danette ended up being convicted last October of computer fraud, theft, and illegal transmission of monetary funds, with Judge Nandy Campbell foregoing prison time and instead ordering her to pay restitution and remain on probation for 5 years. It's like, this bitch drugged this guy and then, like, hacked into all his accounts and tried to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like,
restitution and 5 years probation.
Restitution that you know she's not going to pay. Like,
yeah.
David has slammed the sentence and said that Adan may still be alive if the court had acted differently, which I agree with. He actually wrote to the judge in December last year and said, the minimal fines and lack of meaningful incarceration for crimes that could have led to serious injury or loss of life are quite frankly an insult to public safety and the justice system. If someone dies due to her actions in the future, their blood will undeniably be on the hands of those who allowed her to escape real accountability. Just gotta chill. He also told NBC, had the court acted decisively by incarcerating Miss Colbert or enforcing stricter conditions for her release, it's possible Mr. Manzano would still be alive today. So today, a video came out of Adan with Danette, and it's been released to the media, so you can see some stills from it.
It looks like it's probably from the hotel. Like there's video of them kind of walking in. He's walking behind her. He's carrying like a white plastic bag. I don't know what's in it, but like he looks fine enough. He's smiling in one of the photos. She's kind of just ahead of him. She's wearing like a denim jacket, jeans. Like it looks like they're just going to the hotel room. It doesn't look like there's anything sinister or nefarious happening at that time. Like it's not like she had to help him up in the lift. He's walking. He's fine.
Mm-hmm. So it's also been alleged that Danette is under investigation for the death of another man in 2024. John Jenkins, who's 55, was found dead in a French Quarter hotel from cocaine ethanol toxicity. His death was ruled an accident at the time. He was also missing property when he was found. So who knows if she is connected to that one too.
Yeah, and obviously I feel like, just to preface, we are maybe getting a little bit ahead of ourselves by calling this a drugging or a poisoning, but it seems like that is what will happen. They're waiting for toxicology for Adan. I suspect it maybe might come out before this episode does. So if it does, we'll put a clip in. But at the time that we're recording, they don't know what killed him. They've just said there's no trauma on his body, so he wasn't beaten or stabbed or shot or anything like that. That it's something obviously internal that had to happen. And based on Danette's past, it seems likely that there was some type of drugging involved that led to his death.
I guess like one question is though, so it's interesting to see how they'll handle it. Meanwhile, I still think she should be held responsible either way. Like maybe he did take the drugs willingly, but is she like the one supplying the drugs? Is she like pressuring? Like, oh, come on, like it's Super Bowl, it's New Orleans, like come on, like do the Xanax, drink this, and you know, is she the one giving it to them? Or the one guy said that he feels like she literally like snuck it into his drink. So.
Yeah, I do want, like, obviously we'll know more once we hear what actually happened and caused his death, but even things like fentanyl obviously is rampant. There's a fentanyl epidemic at the moment. Maybe whatever she had cocaine and it was laced. I don't know. We don't know what she gave him. If she gave him it willingly, maybe he had a bad reaction to just basic cocaine, for example. We don't know. But I feel like this will this will likely end up, his cause of death will be drug related based on something that Danette gave him.
So there's been a lot of victim shaming, of course, on Adan. And these comments are infuriating to me. We just kind of talked about a similar situation on Patreon of people being like so on their fucking high horse of being like me.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the type of people you think they would that probably have a Bible verse in their bio. So not a lot of, but there's a good amount of comments of people being like, here, I'll just read one from Chris.
No, maybe don't say the name.
Why? Who cares? She put it on a fucking public post.
I think it was in the group, so maybe don't say the name.
Okay, fine. I'll just say, so one comment is from a woman named Christina. Says, tis, tis, tis. Well, now. His wife died in a car accident less than a year ago. He's in town on a job and he couldn't resist to the first woman he bumped into, thinking emoji. What the fuck was he thinking? Angry emoji. This is why you don't take strangers to your home, parentheses hotel room, unless it's a registered by the agency escort/hooker. That took a turn I didn't expect her to.
Just to add also, escorting is not legal in Louisiana, so either way it wouldn't have been relevant in this case, but yeah.
Yeah. Another one from a woman named Jackie. I'm not victim shaming. However, you have a young child and their mother already died. You're a single father. Don't you think you should be a little more responsible? Edit to add, I assume that he was doing drugs with a sex worker in his hotel room, which is risky behavior.
I feel like this is a guy who has lost his wife. I know he's a widow, but he's essentially single. We don't know how he met Danette yet.
He's young.
He's young. He actually was doing nothing wrong. We don't know, like maybe the drug part is wrong if he knew he was planning to go and do drugs with Danette. And yep, fair enough, he shouldn't have done that. But taking a woman back to his hotel room is absolutely normal behavior. Like
I don't think he's doing anything wrong.
No, I just think A, his child wasn't there. His child was clearly being cared for by someone else. B, he is a widow, therefore he doesn't have a partner, so he has every right to meet other women or men or whoever he wants to meet. I just feel like you should be able to go to a bar and eat, like obviously we're speculating on what happened the night before, but you should be able to meet someone and decide to have a romantic encounter with them and be safe. It's, I just feel like it's, I don't know. It's silly.
It's also a huge weekend for him. Something he was really looking forward to. He's celebrating. You're in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Like, have you seen videos from it? Everyone's partying. Everyone's having a good time. Again, we don't know the circumstances of how he wound up with her. Like the other guy said, like he felt like he was drugged at the bar. Maybe it was something like that. Also, even if it wasn't, who cares? Like, he's just having fun. Let him. And he's there for work. It's not like he kicked his child to the curb and was like, F you, kid. I'm going to celebrate in New Orleans this weekend.
Yeah. And also things like I imagine being a single widowed parent would be very stressful. He probably, like what you said, he wanted to let his hair down. Even it could have been a situation where he was at a bar, let's just say, with this woman, and he's like, oh, I feel really unwell. And she's like, I'll take you back. It's fine. I'll make sure you get back all right. Who knows? It could be anything along those lines that have happened to him. We don't know what their situation was. And even if they were going back to have sex, that is his business.
Cares?
And he wasn't doing anything wrong.
I can't take the friggin' snobbery of the internet sometimes.
It's kind of interesting.
Now you all have me defending a man. I'm defending a man for everyone says in future episodes, Stephanie hates men, blah, blah, blah. I will defend a man.
There was a case in Los Angeles where a similar-ish thing happened, and I feel like a lot of you guys will be familiar with it. It happened in, I'm just trying to find the year. It was 2019-ish, and it was about another reporter, not a sports reporter, but an anchor, Chris Burrows. He was found dead in a hotel room, and everyone's like, wow, what happened? Very similar to Adan's situation, but it turned out that Chris, who was married to a woman and had a child, had actually been meeting with men for sex. And like it says, he inserted 2 rocks of crystal meth through his rectum and became unconscious. And I know things like he was wearing a GIMP mask. Like that is a death where, things probably shouldn't have happened. You're married, you shouldn't be having an affair with a man. Whereas Adan's is very, very different. He was meeting a woman for probably a consensual encounter, and then this has happened to him.
Yeah, it's just crazy to basically be like, tis, tis, tis. It's like he's dead. Yeah. He paid the ultimate price, and you're going to be like, tis, tis. What else do you want
from him? Yeah. And I absolutely don't agree with the victim shaming. I do agree if you are a single parent, you should probably be especially careful, but you would never in a million years think that this would happen to you because you are going to have an encounter with someone that you met in a bar.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We obviously don't know. We don't even know why they were together, but you would likely not ever
especially
think
as
that
a
this
man
is going to happen to you. Yeah,
women
exactly.
are more nervous to go home with someone because men are like our number one killer, predator, but men don't usually have to worry about that as much as women do.
In the photos and stills from the video, he looks bigger than her. Like he looks quite tall. She looks quite petite. Like, yeah, it's just not a situation I feel like he would have ever expected or could have, prepared for.
Yeah. So leave him alone. He's dead.
Before we carry on with the show, today's episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack sponsor. One thing I have been loving in the heat here, I know for you guys it's winter, but even like at the gym for you guys after your workouts, I love using IQ Mix for hydration. It's got 3 times as many electrolytes as sport drinks. It's great for pre-workout, morning hydration, if you've got a bit of a hangover. Even in our house, we love mixing some of the flavors together. Just, my daughter's like, what do you think these two are? What have I mixed together today? They are really delicious and they make it so much easier to drink a lot of water and to stay hydrated during the day. Start the new year off right with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The ultimate sample pack includes all 3. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners an exclusive deal. 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus you get free shipping.
IQ Mix is a zero sugar drink mix that hydrates with electrolytes, improves mood with magnesium, and boosts clarity with lion's mane adaptogen. It also comes in 7 refreshing flavors like passion fruit, pina colada, lemon lime, peach mango, and blueberry pomegranate. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus get free shipping. To get your 20% off, just text CRIME to 64,000. Text CRIME to 64,000. That's CRIME to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
So the second case we're going to discuss is one that is wild. I had never heard about it till I started, because I like to kind of tie the episodes together if we're talking about more than one case to crimes that are similar. I'd never heard about this case. It only pretty recently happened. I feel like it has absolutely flown under the radar. And there are a lot of people involved. So we're going to try and make it easy to follow. But basically, it's about a mother and a daughter who tried 4 times to kill the mother's husband before they were successful.
Police say it started with a burglary here at Marsha Allen's home, tucked away in the woods in Freetown. Allen accused 2 men of breaking in with the help of her daughter, Ashley Jones, leading investigators down an unexpected trail of crime.
Where's it end or where did it start? How long?
Questions neighbors have Thursday as shocking new details unfold. Richard Brewer lives right next door. He says he called Jackson County Sheriff's Office on the day Allen's home was burglarized.
Told him that I'd be going up there and checking it out. I found the window broken into.
Deputies later arrived and determined Stephen White and Nathaniel Napier were responsible, along with Allen's daughter. While searching for evidence, investigators found text messages between Allen and Jones. They say the two were discussing ways to kill Allen's husband, Harold, who was reported dead on December 20th of last year.
When Harold passed away, he had some health issues and just assumed that's what it was, and then find out all this yesterday. And yeah, it's kind of scary.
While under investigation, family members say they were unable to get in contact with Allen. That's when deputies checked her home on October 16th and found her dead inside. The next day, police say Jones confessed she ordered ethylene glycol, a chemical found in antifreeze. She also told them her mother put poison in Harold's drink. Now Jones is charged with Harold's murder and burglary, leaving Brewer and many others wondering why this happened.
Got to find a motive for some reason, in my opinion, but so far they haven't come up with a motive that I know of. So I hope they find out why.
The people involved in this case are Ashley Jones and her mother, Marsha Allen. I believe Ashley is around 30 years old. Some of the, because obviously when you read a report, some of them are a few years old now. So anyway, early 30s. Her mother is Marsha Allen. Marsha was married to Harold Allen. Ashley had previously been married to a man named Tyson Jones, who died in 2019. So we'll start this story with Tyson's death. Can't find much online about it at all. There have been a few articles since Harold's death that have come out, but there's no obituary online. I could find basically nothing about this man online. But according to the media, Tyson was found dead just days after he received an inheritance from his great-grandfather. Ashley did not tell Tyson's family about his death for days. So they were married. She didn't tell his family when he died. His uncle William White said she had his body cremated quick and fast and in a hurry before the family could even ask for an autopsy or have anything done about it. Ashley told the family that Tyson had died from alcohol poisoning. So that was 2019. On December 20th, 2022, a few years later, Harold died on that day. That's Ashley's stepfather, her mother, Marsha's husband. The Jackson County Sheriff responded to a call at the home for an unconscious person. Officials said they believe Harold was dead before the 911 call was placed, and they said at the time no foul play was suspected. This is his obituary. He was only 52 when he died. It says Harold Peanut Allen Jr. of Freetown, Indiana, passed away suddenly on Tuesday. Yeah. Harold Peanut Allen. I was like, did I say he was born in Peanut? No, yeah. Harold Peanut Allen Peanut was his nickname, I guess. Of Freetown, Indiana, passed away suddenly on Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. It just goes on to say where he was born. It says survivors include his wife, Marsha Allen. Doesn't list Ashley in the obit, but I guess step parent. Maybe they got married later in life. So anyway, she's not included in the obituary. It seems like it was just accepted that Harold's death was of natural causes, even though he was only 52, which is pretty young. But there was not really any investigation into it until the following year, 2023. And this is where like people just get too cocky and they kind of bring themselves down. They think they get away with one thing and they try and get away with more things, and the whole house of cards falls down.
Yeah.
On September 19th in 2023, Marsha reported that her home had been burgled. Police investigation determined that two men named Stephen White and Nathaniel Napier had committed the crime, quote, at the direction of and with the assistance of Ashley, who was Marsha's daughter. During the robbery, firearms and jewelry were stolen. When police questioned Stephen, who was one of the perpetrators, he told them that Marsha had, quote, murdered her husband by poisoning him somehow. He alleged that Marsha had put ethylene glycol into a root beer float after Ashley purchased the substance. So police started looking into this, which I'm glad they did, because, you know, sometimes criminals try and rat out other people to take the heat off or to try and get a lesser sentence, but they took these allegations seriously and they started looking into Harold's death. They found messages between Marsha and Ashley where they discussed murdering Harold via poisoning. Police executed a search warrant at Marsha's home. They seized electronic devices and questioned Marsha on September 20th of 2023. Ashley was arrested on October 3rd, 2023 in relation to the burglary. So basically she set this up, I'm guessing for some type of insurance purpose, but she was arrested on charges regarding that robbery in October. Soon after the police operation, Marsha's family contacted the sheriff's department and said they had been unable to contact her. They went and performed a welfare check and found Marsha deceased. Authorities said upon arriving at Marsha's home, officers found Marsha deceased with no signs of violence. So her obituary reads, Marsha Allen of Freetown, Indiana, passed away on Monday, October 16th, 2023. Survivors include her son, her daughter, then it goes on. So there's no mention of Harold in there, but basically she died on October 16th, 2023. Her cause of death ended up being suicide by overdose. Ashley interviewed with police on October 17th, which was one day after Marsha died, and told them that Marsha was actually the one to put poison into Harold's food and drinks, but she did admit to being the one who ordered the poison. So very convenient now that her mother's dead, and this is the story. I actually think that probably is what happened, but that's what she's telling police one day after her mother died. So police conducted an investigation, and in August 2024, Ashley was charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder resulting in death, and consumer product tampering resulting in serious bodily injury. During the investigation, police uncovered emails from an account linked to Ashley, and they discovered that there were multiple communications between her and Marsha where they discussed four additional attempts to poison Harold. In one of the texts, the two discussed purchasing foxglove seeds, which is a toxic plant that can kill a person if ingested. According to Marshall's Google searches, she made searches such as how much foxglove is fatal, how long does foxglove take to kill you? And they discovered that Ashley ordered pong pong seeds from eBay in September 2022. So there is some kind of
I feel like it's always eBay.
Yeah, true. There is some variation. Some articles don't mention the pong pong seeds. Some go into a lot of detail. Some say it was foxglove. Either way, I feel like this is kind of the same incident where they looked at foxglove, they ordered these pong pong seeds at the same time. If you don't know what pong pong seeds are, they're a brown oval seed that yield Cerberin, which is a substance that causes disruption of cardiac electrical activity, and it's usually used in suicides and homicides in places like India, Southeast Asia, and East Africa. So kind of like an exotic poison method. Pong pong seeds are said to have a bitter taste, but they can be masked by herbs and spices, and the seeds can also be added to food. If someone did ingest the seeds, it says they may suffer from nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, and diarrhea, as well as heart-related symptoms. So the seeds arrived at Marsha's home in October 2022. Ashley and Marsha ground up the seeds in a coffee grinder and put them into a batch of brownies in November that year. Between November 12th and November 19th, Ashley and Marsha continued to discuss Harold's murder or upcoming murder. Ashley texted Marsha saying there's always going to be, people want it this time. It's time sensitive, the big plan.
They're so dumb.
Ashley texted again saying one shot. According to court documents, it says it should be noted that Marsha sent Ashley a photo message of what appears to be Harold on November 26th. In the photo, there is a half-eaten brownie on a paper plate sitting on Harold's stomach. Harold became sick after eating the brownie and ended up in the emergency room the next day. Ashley and Marsha discussed via text and email how long the process of killing Harold was taking. Marsha said to Ashley on November 28th, 2022, "I am irritated and I can't sleep peacefully. I need this to be over. I wish it would reach its climax and be done, lol." LOL. Ashley wrote back, agreed. So Harold continued to show symptoms and went back to the ER on November 30th. He was released after the doctor said he had an inflammatory intestinal related condition. So after the foxglove or pog seeds did not work, Ashley placed an Etsy order. She's branching out from eBay to Etsy for water hemlock on December 1st of 2022.
Not leaving any digital footprint at all.
So water hemlock is apparently the most violently toxic plant that grows in North America, and only a small amount of the toxic substance in the plant is needed to produce poison in livestock or humans. Symptoms, if you ingest it, include nausea, abdominal pain, epigastric distress, flushing, dizziness, and death as the last symptom. So according to a document from Oregon State University, it only takes a piece of root the size of a walnut to kill a 1,200-pound cow or horse. That's all is needed to kill a 1,200-pound animal. On December 2nd, Ashley texted Marsha and said, "You can't touch the plant." They then texted each other that they would need to wear gloves to handle the plant. And Ashley sent a message again and said, "I know I need to wear gloves and I have some time alone to prepare the root."
It's just have these women never watched a crime documentary, never followed true crime?
Yeah. It's like Brian Walsh, how he Googled all that stuff. I always bring him up. He's the one who always comes first, get rid of a dead body. And
how to get rid of a body? Is a dead body going to smell? What will a dead body smell like? Does it
I just feel like these women, these people, obviously in this case it's women, but these people are so arrogant, just think that they're going to get away with it. And
which is crazy. What gives people this confidence?
Yeah. So the water hemlock was delivered to Marsha's home on December 8th, 2022. Ashley and Marsha tried to poison Harold with it by putting it into his chili on December 9th, his soda on December 10th, and a margarita on December 12th. So I still can't believe he survived all these 3 attempts of this most toxic plant, but he did.
Yeah.
After none of these attempts worked, the two texted again. Ashley said to Marsha, "I still just want to finish it, lol." And Marsha wrote back, "LOL, yes, I know, and so do I, to be honest."
LOL.
So, LOL. Ashley and Marsha then ordered the ethylene glycol on December 13th, 2022. They paid $31.99 for half a gallon of it. The order included a phone number, which was the same as the number that Ashley had texted Marsha from. So ever increasing their technological footprint, putting their numbers everywhere, emails everywhere. They really gave no shits. Officials found that Ashley had ordered the substance via email with an address of Topaz Moonchild 1793, but it was masked by an additional email using Apple's Hide My Email feature. So they did try somehow to cover up their tracks, but not very well. Texts from December 19 indicated that they planned to put the ethylene glycol into Harold's root beer float. Ashley texted her mother, "The mail is here, smiley face," which Marsha replied to with a love emoji. Marsha texted her later that day saying he's all in for root beer floats, and they then exchanged information about root beer floats, including photos and sizes of the cans. Before we finish up with today's episode, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, Nutrafol. I don't know if you guys are the same as me, but as I've been getting a little bit older, I have noticed that my hair has been thinning. I've always had my hairdresser once told me I don't have thick hair, but I have a lot of hair. So it looks thick, but I have been noticing it's taking longer to grow, seems a little bit thinner. I don't know, I am thinking that this might be my hair lifespan ongoing. And that's why I've been so excited to try Nutrafol. You should love your hair, but it's very hard to do that if you're dealing with it shedding or thinning, like when you brush your hair and so much of it kind of comes out. You're like, what is going on? Luckily, Nutrafol is here to help. Their whole body approach to hair health works from the inside out, so you can start loving your hair again. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
It's physician formulated with 100% drug-free ingredients. Nutrafol supplements support visibly thicker, stronger hair from within by targeting root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, aging, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism as they evolve throughout a woman's life. Building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required. Automated deliveries and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20%. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctor consults, and a Headspace meditation membership is included. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code TCS. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code TCS. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code TCS.
So after Marsha put the substance into his drink, she texted Ashley and said that Harold was acting, quote, drunk and loopy. He died the following day, December 20th. Police allege that 5 hours passed before Marsha called an ambulance, by which time Harold was deceased. So this is some information about ethylene glycol if you're not sure what it is. It's a clear, odorless, sweet-tasting synthetic liquid that's used in many consumer products such as antifreeze. It's the main ingredient in antifreeze, hydraulic brake fluids, ink, plastic, paints, and pharmaceuticals. It says basically it breaks down into toxic compounds in the body which can affect the central nervous system, heart, and kidneys. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, coma, seizures, and heart and blood pressure. And that if he did get prompt treatment, he could have recovered, but clearly she let him suffer for 5 hours and made sure he was dead before she called the ambulance.
Isn't antifreeze that used to be what people use a lot, and then they started making it taste bad on purpose because people put in blue Gatorade? So it's kind of like the same thing since it's the main ingredient.
So police also uncovered communications between Ashley and one of the burglars, Stephen. Ashley told Stephen that Marsha would not have succeeded in Harold's death without her. She wrote, "We both know that bitch wasn't the one planning it. She just fucked it all up. She made it less lucrative, wouldn't even go get a will. She couldn't even get into a dead man's phone without me to get all his retirements and savings he had hidden. Hell, she got $4,500 from his PayPal because I showed her how to scam it as him before they found he's gone. She's fake as fuck. She didn't give me shit out of that."
Imagine bragging about being the better, shittier person.
And
imagine unreal
doing this for $4,500. It's crazy.
Pathetic.
Yeah. Another text said, yeah, she ain't even going to be able to do, and then something's redacted. She wouldn't even have succeeded with this last thing without me. I planned it all. She was going to use insulin like 1983. Oh, so it's not traced. So something else was hatched, and we both know that someone wasn't the one planning it. She just redacted. It all made it less lucrative, wouldn't even make it to go get a will. So I'm guessing Ashley's pissed off because Marsha killed herself with no will. So that's an extra headache for Ashley now to deal with.
I'd love to know what the other person was also saying in this conversation.
I would love to know how Ashley knew this guy, what kind of relationship they had. I also have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So Ashley's trial was first scheduled for January 7th, 2025. That would have been a pretty quick turnaround considering she just got arrested and charged, not that long ago. That did not happen though. Spoiler alert. According to court records, her trial is now scheduled for later this year, August 4th, 2025. In relation to the death of her husband, Tyson, the Jackson County Sheriff's Department said they're aware of the claims that maybe something has gone on, but they can't say whether or not law enforcement is investigating the incident. So a very interesting case, a case of two very ballsy women who had the audacity to think they were going to get away with these multiple poisonings.
And stupid.
Robbery, crime. Obviously, Marsha knew what was up, and that's why she ended up taking her own life. But it's so ridiculous that they thought that they could leave this massive trail and get away with it.
Yeah, it's just, I really don't understand people. What reality do you live in where you think you're going to get away with this when you're buying things on the internet? You're committing multiple crimes, drawing more and more attention to yourself, and you're bragging about it via text message. Like, hello, please.
And even like, I don't know, like they talked about his retirement. So I'm assuming he probably had more than the $4,500. But if you're talking about the $4,500 as a notable amount, it seems like there probably wasn't a huge amount of money to do this for. I don't know. It's just crazy that the effort that people will go to for such little benefit if they can get away with it anyway.
Just like the callousness of the texts annoyed me, like how they're giggling about how he's like down for a root beer float. Like, I love a sweet treat, so I feel bad because I would have loved a root beer float too.
Even the LOLs, like the repeated use of LOLs
yeah.
and smiley faces and things like that in the text just show how callous and uncaring they were. They were laughing about killing this man.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, it's gross. So we'll keep you updated if her trial goes ahead in August. Hopefully it will. Yeah, a wild case. Maybe we'll hear more about the death of the first husband or the husband, if it was really alcohol poisoning. I still also can't believe that no autopsy was done on someone who was probably, like, as I said, I don't know how old this guy was. I haven't been able to find much information about him online as well. But if she was 29-ish or in her late 20s, I'm assuming he was probably not that much older. So to not do an autopsy and just go with alcohol poisoning based on Ashley's word is pretty crazy.
It's like Lori Vallow wannabe.
Yeah. And Chad Daybell, how he just said that his
Yeah.
wife died and no autopsy was done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that no autopsy is done, especially when they're so young. All right, so that is it for this episode. So again, never say we're sexist, please.
It's still usually the husband, but sometimes it is the wife.
Yeah. I mean, just shitty people are shitty people. That's
Yeah.
it. So everything will be on the blog, as always, at truecrimesocietyblog.com if you want to do any more reading about it, see all of our sources and things like that. Make sure you're following us on Instagram because that's where we post the most and post a lot of like recent news and updates. So our handle's True Crime Society on there. If you want to see what we're up to, my Instagram is StephSum_, Olivia's TCS Olivia. And check us out on Patreon if you want more content from us. We do all the episodes ad-free. We also do weekly bonus episodes, so you get 2 episodes a week. We're thinking about kind of doing like a recap of the Gabby Petito Netflix documentary that's going to be coming out in a few days. Well, at this point, it'll already be out, but we like to do stuff like that on Patreon. Plus, it's its own community, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And all the just usual stuff. If you can make sure you're still like subscribed or following on whatever platform you listen to us on, because we talked about before, Apple just kind of like undoes it for you after an amount of time. So just check, make sure you're following, subscribed, all those things. And if you can share to your Instagram stories or share with a friend, leave us some nice comments. That's all big help to us. And we appreciate it so much.
Yes.
So that is it. Thank you guys for listening and stay safe out there. Peace out.
See ya.